Welcome to the New Heights Show on Education. I'm Pamela Clark, founder and director of the New Heights Educational Group, and I'm here with David Smith, the founder of Silicon Valley High School, who has helped us get these podcasts produced and delivered to you.
Yes, Pamela, when we saw the great things that you and your army of volunteers were achieving at New Heights, we wanted to get involved. We're happy to work with you to leverage the internet and make quality education accessible and affordable to everyone, everywhere.
Thank you, David. We appreciate Silicon Valley High School helping us to get these podcasts out to the hundreds of thousands of listeners from all over the world. So I hope you enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone. This is Charlotte McGuire, your host for Thankful Thursday, New Heights Show on Education. As always, I encourage you to give thanks for our children, especially during times of transition. The mission of the New Heights Educational Group Incorporated supports literacy for our children and adults by offering a range of educational support services. Such services include assisting families in the selection of schools, organization of educational activities, and acquisition of materials. We promote a healthy learning environment and enrichment programs for families of preschool and school-age children, including children with special needs. Each week, this show explores a new topic on Common Core. Our goal is to share truth and dispel myths about Common Core so families can come together in knowledge, action, and voices for education. For those of you who may not know, Common Core is a set of national academic standards for designated subjects currently focusing on mathematics and English Language Arts Literacy, or ELA. These learning goals outline what a student should know and be able to do at the end of each grade throughout their K-12 education. The standards were created to ensure all students graduate from high school with knowledge and skills to be college and career ready. What about life ready? It is important that you know as much about Common Core state standards and what it means for your children so you can make an informed choice about their education. Today's show will explore, will Common Core lead to nationalized education? Well, you may think, what are you talking about, nationalized education? You will hear in a moment.
Right now, you might be struggling through your classes or even failing them. You might be worried that you may not finish high school. There might have even been a thought that you may not be smart enough. Well, the New Heights Educational Group begs to differ. We not only think you are smart enough, but with our help, you will complete your high school diploma. The New Heights Educational Group strives to improve your academic success through its tutoring services. To learn more, please visit newheightseducation.org and contact us. New Heights Educational Group, educational resources to help reach your goals.
Now let's get to the topic for today. Will Common Core lead to nationalized education? To start off the show today, I want to read a quote by the first president of the United States of America, George Washington. And this was a quote he made on educating the people of the United States. And I quote, "A primary object should be the education of our youth in the science of government. In a republic, what species of knowledge can be equally important? And what duty more pressing than communicating it to those who are to be the future guardians of the liberty of our country?" End quote. And this week, I want to share with you some background information that I gained at a Southwest Miami Valley Citizens Informed Forum. There was Kelly Coles, president of the Ohio School Board's Leadership Council, and she gave a revealing history of why Common Core could lead to nationalized education. Now, keep in mind, she first related information that occurred over 70 years ago. She cited Norman Mattoon Thomas. He was born November 20th, 1884. He was a leading American socialist, pacifist, and six-time presidential candidate for the Socialist Party of America. The Socialist Party candidate for President of the United States, Norman Thomas, said in a 1944 speech, and listen carefully, "The American people will never knowingly adopt socialism, but under the name of liberalism, they will adopt every fragment of the socialist program until one day America will be a socialist nation without knowing how it happened." He went on to say, "I no longer need to run as a presidential candidate for the Socialist Party. The Democrat Party has adopted our platform." Thomas died December 19th, 1968. Kelly Coles also related that another national education reformist, Lamar Alexander, in 1989 was promoting a new school concept that would take babies from 3 months old to 18 years of age and have public education schools open all year round and from 6 to 6. So this agenda started prior to the current administration, but has escalated with the current administration offering stimulus money or money for Common Core. And then, did you know, the Pearson Group from the United Kingdom, this is outside America, is buying up all publishing companies but not changing the names, so we as Americans don't know they are all the same. Kelly Cole says this is a radical progressive run called by Pearson Publishing, and I'm sure many of you have heard of Pearson Publishing. Well, if Common Core is leading to nationalized education, we have already allowed the Common Core standards for 2 subjects to be cemented in the national education process. The science standards are being vetted right now, so keep alert for that. But I want to call your attention to a book written by a public school teacher and a former Common Core insider. His name is Brad McQueen, and he took it upon himself to sound the alarm to parents, teachers, and concerned citizens alike. He was concerned about the true intentions of the Common Core education. As a matter of fact, he was asked 4 times to review and help set the PARCC test on each time. His book is called The Cult of Common Core, Obama's Final Solution for Your Child's Mind and Our Country's Exceptionalism. I'm going to take an excerpt out of the book where he starts off with a quote by Maya Angelou. And it quotes, "The first time someone shows you who they are, believe them." And McQueen believes the cult of Common Core is an internationally focused attempt. They are always looking for the rest of the world for models in education or environmental stewardship as benchmarks for America. He documents in his book a global vision for education. He says the global version of the cult of Common Core is UNESCO, the United Nations Education, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. The sustainability movement appointed by UNESCO as its taskmaster for world sustainability education and has as its central role the implementation of a worldwide plan called Agenda 21. Did you know Many of our public high schools have Agenda 21 coordinators. As a matter of fact, I know one personally. So what is Agenda 21? In short, back in 1992, the United Nations sponsored a summit on man-caused global warming in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Countries, environmentalists, and other far-left progressive groups from around the world sent representatives. The summit concluded that countries of the world needed to change their self-centered ways to combat man-caused climate change. The summit leaders then revealed the document called Agenda 21, as in the agenda for the 21st century, which contained all the action steps for implementation and monitoring systems necessary for compliance that could be installed in their home countries, local and state and national level. Remember that progressivism does not acknowledge national borders. It's a worldwide agenda. Agenda 21 is a voluntary action plan, yet many communities around the world and many school districts in the United States have started implementing it under the guise of saving the world through sustainability and going green. How many of you have heard the term going green? And the public praise going green, and even schools will get green ribbon awards for sustainability, environmental education, and making their schools green. Sound familiar? Well, UNESCO became the world's centralized re-education body for Agenda 21. That is why McQueen calls UNESCO the World Board of Education. Now, what is our National Department Head of Education, Arnie Duncan, says about this? As the U.S. Department of Education, Duncan seems to be fully in line with the World Board of Education sustainability plan. McQueen outlines a speech in 2010 where he used catchphrases, and this is a quote from that 2010 speech. Today, education is a global public good unconstrained by national boundaries. There is so much that the United States has to learn from nations with high-performing education systems. American students are lagging behind in the implementation of sustainable development education. Countries like Singapore and Finland are leading the way. The United States cannot, acting by itself, dramatically reduce poverty and disease or develop sustainable sources of energy. America alone cannot combat terrorism or curb climate change. To succeed, we must collaborate with other countries. These new partnerships must also inspire students to take a bigger and deeper view of their civic obligations, not only to their countries of origin, but to the betterment of the global community. End of quote. Then Arnie Duncan starts to sound very Common Core-like, said McQueen, when he suggests, and I quote, those new partnerships require American students to develop better critical thinking ability, cross-cultural understanding, and facility in multiple languages. They also require U.S. students to strengthen their skills in science, technology, engineering, and math, the STEM fields. Most communities today have STEM schools. We have some right here in our community. And that was Arnie Duncan talking to the world.
This podcast is brought to you by Silicon Valley High School, the world's fastest growing, video-based, self-paced, teacher-supported, fully accredited online school
that's recommended by more than 96% of students. Take individual courses at just $95 each, or earn your high school diploma at any age. Check us out at svhs.co.
Now McQueen shows what he says right here at home in Washington, D.C. at a sustainability summit in 2010. And Secretary Duncan, and I quote, "We recognize the importance education plays in the sustainability movement. Until now, we've been mostly absent from the movement to educate our children to be stewards of our environment and prepare them to participate in a sustainable economy. Educators have a central role in this. They teach students about how the climate is changing. They explain the science behind climate change and how we can change our daily practices to help save the planet. We at the Department of Education are energized about joining these leaders in their commitment to preparing today's students to participate in the green economy and to be well educated about the science of sustainability. We must advance sustainability movement through education." End quote. So we see here that there have been plans underway to make Common Core a move toward nationalized education. We must be aware of what's going on in our country. As a matter on yesterday, we just got a report that a new survey confirmed something you may have already guessed. Guess what it was? Most parents say they have heard nothing about the standardized tests that millions of school districts across this country, and in this particular case, California, took this year. According to a nonpartisan research group called Public Policy Institute of California, 55% of public school parents surveyed said they have not heard at all about the new tests that public schools are giving students grades 3rd through 8th grade and grade 11 that started this spring. Another 36% said they have not heard or heard little about the test, and only 8% said they had heard a lot about the exam. It's troubling that so many parents are in the dark about important changes that are taking place in our schools today, which is a quote by Mark Baldersayer, the Institute president and CEO who directed the survey. Of those parents who said they had heard about the test, more than half in California were Latino and a third are white, the group said. The Institute surveyed over 1,700 adult residents by phone April 3rd through the 13th of this year in English and Spanish, and the sampling error is plus or minus 3.7% for all adults. We should keep a note on what's happening with Common Core. We need to continue to encourage our parents to opt out. For our listeners, we have posted on the New Heights Educational Group website opting out of Common Core park forms and also a petition you may sign to stop Common Core in Ohio. Go to www.newheightseducation.org and click on the New Heights Radio and click on my show, Charlotte McGuire. Let's give voice and take action to our children's education. So if Common Core is leading to nationalized education, we must get informed, give voice, and take action. And I thought this song was so cute out of New York, a song to the tune of a Billy Joel song about opting out. Listen for a moment.
One more pace is the riches. And so he's selling out your children like an egomaniac. You ought to know by now. Excluding most teachers from creating the tests. Is that what he bought with our money? And the tests are a waste of time, with results that are filled with doubt. Andrew, if that's how to teach, then I'm opting out. I'm opting out. Oh, and though he's governor for touchy filled the barber, he ought to know by now. When you're born to a powerful daddy, it's easy to have a career. And the tests are a waste of time. Yeah, with results that are filled with doubt. Andrew, if that's how to teach, then I'm opting out. I'm opting out. Oh. I'm opting out. I'm opting out.
How about that, parents? Well, to close this session and this show today, I want to take another excerpt from McQueen's book. He said the cult of Common Core has billions of dollars, but our side has the passion and the commitment to fight on behalf of our children. The cult of Common Core has sounded the alarm and is releasing their flying, as he calls them, monkeys, in a last-ditch effort to squelch the anti-Common Core forces multiplying across the nation. And he call them the mama grizzlies and the bad A mothers. And these are mothers who are concerned about their children and the future of education in America. Let's give voice and take action for our children's education.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. Don't forget to rate us and follow us on your podcast player. Check out our show page, radio.newheightseducation.org, for monthly announcements and other happenings.